Hey YouTube, it's Marida and welcome to another edition of the Nurse Lounge. In this video, we're actually going to continue my series of my narcissistic marriage, my road to recovery. And today's video happens to be, today's topic happens to be how his narcissistic traits have rubbed off on me, how I became a version of him, and how I have just now discovered it. If you want to see or hear what I'm talking about, please stay tuned. Welcome back. My name is Dr. Marida P. I'm a registered nurse. However, today, like I said in the intro, we're not talking about nursing today. We're actually going to talk about how I have began to exhibit traits of the narcissist. And this video is pretty difficult to do because because of the fact that I had to come to some terms that I didn't even think that was true. And it wasn't until I want to say last month, or earlier this month in June, that it was a friend of mine who we had got into a disagreement. And because of the disagreement, it's a male friend and it's just a friend, literally just a friend. And we had got into a disagreement about something. We kind of, I won't say argued, but we kind of fussed back and forth a little bit. And friends do that and do fine and make up and just keep it moving. But the thing about a friend is a friend, he or she will tell you, if it's a good friend, will tell you the truth about yourself. And we've been friends for 2 years. Okay. And yeah, almost 2 years. And he basically told me, he said, you are exhibiting the same things to me that you said your husband did to you. And when he said that, my friend, was an eye opener for me. It was like I was able to step out of myself and look at myself and reflect back and say, you know what? I am doing the exact same things to a certain degree that my husband did to me. And let's step back for just a minute. Because when it comes to being in any kind of relationship, if you notice, even in healthy relationships, we will mimic people that we like, right? So, and I've said this before in other videos, you may have a male friend or female friend, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whatever, and they may have certain mannerisms or sayings or cliche statements that they make. And you will notice that you will start making those same statements or having those same mannerisms or doing some of the same things, because once we begin to like someone, we have an affinity to them and we naturally adopt some of the things that they say or do as our own. That is not narcissistic in itself, because that's what we do. That's what we all do for people that we care about. You will start noticing, like for instance, I say, that's interesting. As an example, that's something I'll say depending on what I'm listening to or what they tell me. That same friend, he now says, that's interesting. So again, he's not mocking me. That's now become his vocabulary, because he has now, adopted that from me. And we all adopt different things from different people. Now, what narcissists typically do, they learn you and they become you or whoever they're around. So in my husband's situation, he would mirror the group of people he was around. And I've mentioned this in another video called mirroring. But he would mirror, like, for instance, he worked 2 jobs. These last 2 jobs he worked that I was with him. And one job, he was with a bunch of 30-something-year-old people. And when he worked that job, before he got fired, another story, he acted very mature, as mature as he could anyway, because of who he hung around. And then next thing I know, after I found out he got fired from the job, he worked at Taco Bell. And as you know, at Taco Bell is usually a lot of teenagers, and they were like 17, 18, 16, whatever years old. He started sagging his pants. He started smoking weed. He started putting earrings in his ear, which other men do that too, but he didn't do that. He started talking like someone who is very immature because they're young. He started all of a sudden blasting his music. Anyway, he started emulating everything that someone of that age category would do. It's normal if you're 18. It's not normal when you're 40, 41, 42 years old. That's not normal. And I would start noticing that how he would change. So they, as narcissists, narcissistic people, do mirror whoever they are around. Now, back to me. What I learned was from my friend, I was treating him the same way that I was being treated. And I think that people who are battered, abused, will do that. We put up our wall. We don't trust. We've been abused. So in the scenario that I'm going to give you here, the same way that narcissistic people will test you, he would say I was doing to him, my friend. He said, you're testing me. And he says, I don't appreciate it. And so I would just see, and the thing is, consciously, I wasn't doing that. Consciously, I wasn't saying, let me just test this man and see how he gonna react. No, I don't play games like, well, I didn't think I did. I don't consciously play games like that. But I've learned that a lot of the mechanisms, or not mechanisms, mannerisms that I had, that my husband taught me, that I've adopted because I've been treated such a way, I began to put off to other people, not just that particular friend. And it would be to the point where when I would test him, an example would be something along the lines of like, I would talk to him all the time, but then I wouldn't talk to him for like a week at a time or something like that. And then I would wait on him to contact me, and he didn't like that. He's like, why are you testing me? Why are you testing our friendship like that? You don't have to, we're friends regardless what's going on with your personal situation. You don't have to test me like that. You don't have to see what I'm going to do. You don't have to see if I'm going to abandon you by not contacting me or whatever. He had to bring that to my attention, and I had a total breakdown, a total meltdown when that happened, when I realized I was treating my friends, or I won't say friends, I won't say so-called, they are friends, but treating my friends in a manner in which I was being treated. And that was very hurtful. So if you're going through this, be mindful that we tend to adopt some of these same traits. And you may notice yourself in hindsight slipping into, like, people say you're acting different. People say you are treating me in a way that he or she treats you. Take heed to that. You don't really recognize it when you're doing it because you are really just trying to protect yourself. Your brain is trying to cope with what it has going on. And no, not any different than any other situation. It's a coping mechanism. It is the way that anybody else has been abused protects themselves when they're being abused. So think about it from this perspective. When someone hurts you and you have not healed from that, you go hurt somebody else. May not be the same way, but you do. I noticed that other traits I picked up from him may not be hurtful for people, but I noticed that he lied a lot, and he lies a lot. And I noticed that my sons are even, now this could be genetic. I wouldn't even know. I don't know how that works with, if it's genetic or not. If somebody knows, let me know. But I've noticed that my sons, and it could be age too, because they're 12 and 9, but they lie about everything. They have been lied to for so long. They have seen the behavior of him getting away with things by lying. So they have also started to do so. And we're trying to correct that behavior. So again, I'm trying to be mindful of how I'm acting and now recognize the need that we all really do need to have therapy. And I keep saying in all these videos over a year now that I'm going to start therapy, and I really am. I really am. I have insurance that's going to pay for the therapy at this point in time, so I was waiting to get that. I was going to pay out of pocket, but when I found out I had insurance that covers it, I was like, oh, let me get on that. So I'm going to put us in therapy because of the fact that I realize we have some situations that we are not dealing with well, because we have now become, we are not narcissists or narcissistic by definition, or have NPD, but we have picked up some of the traits that are not becoming to us. And again, I don't want to go around hurting people, and I don't realize I'm doing it because I'm trying to protect myself, because hurt people hurt people. So be mindful, if this is you, if you are exhibiting some of the same traits that your significant other or the person in your life exhibits. So I always say it's a trickle down effect. Maybe it's not a lover or a relationship like that. Maybe it's a work relationship, and you begin to realize that you are treating people how your boss treats you. It's a trickle down effect. You begin to exhibit some of those same behaviors. We can't be like that. We need to make sure that we do not harbor those traits and be true to who we are, and realize that we need help in therapy, and actually seek out getting the therapy that we need, so that we can be who we really are and not a representation of what we are dealing with, type of thing. So anyway, this is short and sweet. I just wanted to come and tell you all how, I've realized, and again, this is after a 17-year relationship. So be mindful. This is not where I was married for 1 or 2 years. We have been together for 17 years. And I say together only because of the fact, or at least legally together, because of the fact that I'm still legally married to this person. Now, he left a year ago, but I'm saying legally, or maybe let's just say 16 years, where I've been in that environment for 16 years. So you can imagine, if you've been in that environment for 16 years, how people rub off on you, and for the good and for the bad. In this situation, the bad. So, and then of course, when you bring kids into that, what that does to the children. So, yeah, definitely be mindful of that, and definitely plan on figuring out a way in which you can be a better you and get some help if you need help. I happen to love to watch on this YouTube regarding this topic, Quinn Holliday, Associate Direct. I tend to watch also Dr. Carmen Bryant. I love to watch RC Blake's. And he does talk about the narcissist, but he also talks about women being empowered and caring for ourselves, and knowing, and us being the true queens that we are. And he talks from a biblical perspective. So if you're not into the Bible verses, he may not be the best one for you. But he is definitely somebody that I love watching his videos, because he uplifts women, and it helps us realize that you are dealing with the wrong kind of man. Specifically because he talks about narcissism a little bit, but if you watch most of his videos, it's really about empowering the woman. So that really helps me mentally. And that's kind of some of the channels that I've been watching to help me until I can get into a therapist. And then also doing these videos really helps me to tell my story and realize that I'm not alone, because I've seen your comments. I've seen other videos that have been insightful and helpful to me as well. So thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully you enjoyed this series. Not enjoy it in the sense of like you happy about it, but enjoy it in the sense that you realize that you're not alone if you are going through this. This is really not for entertainment. So the ones who come on here saying that, oh, well, he sound like you just had a lazy person. That's not a narcissist. Narcissists are lazy. You can be lazy and not be a narcissist, but narcissists are typically lazy. Okay. Some of them can hustle. Narcissists are players, hustlers, and narcissists all at the same time. Okay. They know how to do that. But a player or hustler doesn't mean they're a narcissist, but a narcissist does do those other things. So again, I don't need those kind of comments. I'm using this series for support. And if you can't say or be anything supportive when it comes to these types of videos, then keep it moving. Don't even watch them. Just keep it moving, because I'm not here for it, and I'll come back at you. That's just how I am. But other people may not be at a point in their recovery where they can come back at you, because we don't put up with these things because we feel like we want to. Nobody wants to be abused. I don't know anybody, pick me, who wants to be abused. we get ourselves into situations in which we shouldn't, and then here we are, and we're trying to figure out how to get out of them. Some of us can't get out of them right now, and we want to know that there's people out there like us who did get out and that we can get out. So anyway, thank you for watching the video. Until the next time, I will see you later. Bye-bye.